What's up everybody, this is Jonathan with Boston Collectors, and in today's video, we'll be unboxing and reviewing Anakin Skywalker in the STAP. Getting straight into it, this is a very large box. We're also met with a few familiar features on the front, beginning with the cigar band wraparound and the shiny embossed Star Wars logo as well. On the cigar band, we have a few extra images, the product number, and the name of the figure on the front and side portions. With that, we have the Clone Wars yellow and blue colorway to match a few of their previous releases. As we move up to the central part of the box, we also have the main photo of Anakin Skywalker on the front, featuring the STAP. As with every release, we also have the legal information located on the back of the box. We went ahead and picked up the Sideshow exclusive, which comes with a poncho as seen in the Clone Wars series. As we start diving into the box, this figure also came with an art card. It's a photo that we've seen before in their promotional material, but with a couple Photoshop effects on top. Looks pretty good. With all that said, let's go ahead and start diving into the review. If you like what you see so far, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, consider joining our Discord community server. The link can be found in the description below. To begin, we have a pair of aggressively relaxed hands. I think Hot Toys wanted to cover a few bases with these. We can use them in a gesturing manner, holding holograms, detonators, and the like. I can't say I'm too mad at this because of its multi-use purpose. Next, we also have a pair of saber-wielding hands. By the way, both hands do happen to have different colors. The right hand is more of a straight black color versus the left being more of a chocolate brown color. Moving on, we also have a right force gesturing hand included in the box. Again, a lot of these hands can be put to great use if you open your imagination up a bit. You'll see that throughout a lot of the footage. Hot Toys went ahead and gave us more of a relaxed force gesturing left hand as well. I find this particular gesture better used for the holograms versus the neutral hands personally. Again, great for multiple uses if you put your mind to it. We also received a pair of gripping hands for the STAP. When applying these hands to the handles, the brake handles go inside of the grip. Otherwise, you run the risk of them breaking. So be very careful. Moving on to the lightsaber, this is a slightly smaller version versus the last Anakin release. We've seen this hilt a lot, so you aren't missing out. As for the saber effects, they're more of a frosty color versus a clearer appearance. I'm not sure how I feel about them, but personally I prefer the clearer versions. If you're one of those collectors who hope for the light up arm, you're in luck. Installing the batteries are relatively easy, but when it comes to installing the arm into the figure, not so much. Make sure to take off the belt and remove the portrait when installing. Seriously, trust me on this one. Hot Toys also included two detonators with this release. A full detonator and a sticky bomb detonator as seen with the 501sts. Moving on, we have a hologram projector featuring 3 holograms of our favorite Star Wars characters. Granted, the later version of Ahsoka is interesting to have with this earlier version of Anakin. As for the armor, there's a great amount of movement in the shoulders, and I love the way the armor separate when posing. I prefer this shoulder armor guard because of the straight lines and arches in the shoulders. The alternative appearance have more of a curvy design, which can be seen with Darth Vader. Not only can you swap out the shoulder armor, you can also swap out the upper bicep guards with the included alternative pieces. I chose to mix and match for now, but that may change later. With both shoulder armor guards, we can also Velcro the included cape as well for even more options. If that isn't enough and you picked up the Sideshow exclusive, you also have a poncho as yet another option. Applying this one is a lot easier than Qui-Gon Jinn's. When you're done, feel free to pose your poncho however you like. Keep in mind there's only wiring along the sides of the poncho and not along the bottom. As for the base, it's basic. If you have the Hot Toys 501st, this is the exact same color and texturing. Unfortunately, we didn't get a flight pole. We only received a crotch cradler with this one. Now this is more like a base. While it is meant to be used for the STAP, you can also use it in other ways. There's a very hefty feel to this base and it's perfect for holding up the STAP. I wouldn't worry about it toppling over anytime soon. Speaking of the STAP, let's dive into it a bit. It is tall. It won't be going on a DTOF anytime soon unless of course you modified your shelves for it. If you can do that, you're solid. The way they put this into 1/6 scale form is truly a sight to behold when it's in your hands. There's a lot of depth and dimension in this vehicle and the paint job is only half the pie. Installing the pedals is very simple. Slide the piece into the groove and you're set. Both pedals are utilizing the same articulating function to pose your figure. Need a little more give to execute what you're trying to do? You're covered. If you thought the STAP was cool enough as is, there's also a battery operating feature as well. Installation is very easy and straightforward. The engines light up in a saturated orange color, adding even more immersion to the vehicle's overall appearance. If you're curious, sound is not included. The main portion of the STAP can be articulated vertically and the handles are articulated as well at the base. Installing the handles was somewhat of a nuisance, but not too much. It's all about the angle of insertion. Once the setup is complete, take off with your favorite Star Wars character or keep it neutral and give it to Anakin. The options are limitless. With all of the accessories out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into the portrait. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. We appreciate the support. There are a lot of similarities with the Clone Wars Anakin release that we've seen with his previous versions. With this one, the scar on his right eyebrow is noticeably longer and that particular eyebrow isn't as bushy as the other side. The scarring on his cheek is also slightly deeper than what we've seen on previous versions. Other than that, everything is the same. His skin is slightly lighter and his hair is noticeably shorter. To me, there's also a bit more realism with the hair. There's more of a depth with a slight shine and just enough of a dull look to the paint application. While technically the hair isn't screen accurate due to it flaring out from the sides or flaring up at the bottom of his neck, I think they executed the animation to realism well. This is a perfect portrait in my opinion, and it looks great next to the previous versions. What do you think? Let us know down below. Let's start with the boots. There isn't a split cut boot, but the pleather is soft enough for you to get a few more poses out of the ankle area. Matching the previous releases, there's a tread at the bottom of the boots. We also have a double bend in the knee and we have a thigh swivel to compensate for more of a natural looking pose. With that, we also have wiring in the tunic along the inside on the front and back portions and the side seam. The belt is pretty straightforward. It's held by Velcro and used for holstering his saber. The armor isn't too much of a hassle since we can separate it. We also have an arm swivel and double bend in the elbow as well. If there's anything that I'm not a fan of with this release, it's the right gauntlet. I wish they would have used the previous engineering for his gauntlet, and they chose not to. It's probably the worst part about this figure. Also, there isn't a communicator present on either side of it. With that said, the body is very solid. I'm also not sure why they didn't give the Jedi robe, but I guess the cape is good enough. To start, we have Count Dooku, Captain Rex, Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, a Phase 1501st clone, a Tusken Raider, Grand Master Yoda, the Coruscant Guard, Commander Cody, Master Qui-Gon Jinn, my kit-bashed Plo Koon, Light Side Anakin, Darth Vader, and last but not least, the STAP. In closing, this is probably one of my favorite releases this year. There are definitely areas of improvement though. At almost $400, we're missing out on some of the smaller details like the gauntlet, which isn't cool. I love a lot of the hands that they gave us with this release. I just really wish we received fists. Also, I'm not sure why Season 7 Ahsoka was included as a hologram, since this is Anakin from the Clone Wars movie and not the series. Overall though, I'm pretty happy with the release. Even without the STAP, I'm pretty sure you'll also be very happy to have him in your collection. He looks great, he poses well, and he comes with so many accessories. Not to mention, a lot of the accessories from previous Anakin figures can swap out with this one. Keep in mind though, the left hand might be problematic if you don't want a bare hand in place of the gloved hand. While installing the Mechno arm might be difficult, it does fit. The only downside is you can't swap the portraits back and forth because of the neck adapter they used. While I'm not 100% sure where the alternative armor and cape accessory is from, I like that it was given as an extra. Also, the cape feels very nice and similar to what we received with Dooku in quality. With that said, I'm giving this release a 9 out of 10. The figure and the STAP are truly remarkable in hand, and I can't wait to pose them up in my collection. As always, if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to like and subscribe. We have a lot on the way. Also, join the conversation over on our community Discord server as well. We'd love to hear from you. This is Jonathan with Boston Collectors, and thank you so much for watching.